Welcome back. For 20 years, the family desperately begged for help for their mentally ill son, help that never really came. It took a chilling phone call to 911 for the family to finally get the state's attention, and experts say it highlights just one of the problems with Michigan's mental health system. Tonight, 7 investigator Ross Jones continues our series, Waiting for Disaster, exposing the flaws in how we care for the mentally ill.
I just had not slept in weeks, just worrying about him, and I kept praying to God that he would take care of him.
Ron Rudy's mother is so ashamed of what her son did that more than 6 months after it happened, she still can't show her face.
Well, this isn't quite the way I wanted God to take care of him, but what else is there?
What happened at this home in Clinton Township horrified police, investigators, and everyone who set foot inside. But those who know Ron Rudy or the mental health system in Michigan say it shouldn't have been a surprise to anyone. Most of Rudy's life has been marred with severe mental illness. At age 30, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. For the next 25 years, he would be hospitalized more times than his family can count, sometimes for trying to hurt others, and sometimes trying to hurt himself.
There were many attempts for suicide.
How many?
Oh, at least 7 or more.
With each hospital stay, Ron would be medicated and quickly released once doctors stabilized him. And each time, it wasn't long before he stopped taking his medication.
He was throwing his pills away. He wasn't tolerating them. He said he didn't need them.
In 2011, Rudy's family fought twice to have him involuntarily committed to a hospital. His mom wrote that he was having out-of-body experiences, breaking down, and that he spoke of suicide. A doctor concluded he would likely seriously physically injure himself or others. So Rudy was hospitalized again, ordered to spend up to 60 days in treatment. He was released after only 13. It was at least his 12th hospital stay.
It's like a merry-go-round or a Ferris wheel that never ends.
Judge Jenny Barkey sees every mental health petition to come through Genesee County Court.
We can only involuntarily treat them until they're stable. And the minute they're stable on medication, they're gone.
Does that make sense to you?
None. Because one of the main symptoms of the disease is to go off the medication.
And after being let out of the hospital for the last time, his family says Ron was quickly off his medicine again. In January last year, he was found hanging over this freeway overpass preparing to jump. A year later, police were called after Ron was shouting obscenities, telling strangers they were going to go to hell. Earlier this year, Ron's mother called the Macomb County Community Mental Health Crisis Center, convinced Ron was about to do something awful.
I said, I have a son that needs help. He's not taking his medication for bipolar, and I wondered what I could do.
But without clear evidence Ron would hurt someone, his mother was told there was nothing that could be done. Days later, records show police were called again, this time because Ron was standing outside his home swinging a baseball bat near a young woman. Police were called. No action was taken.
911.
I've been stabbed.
You've been stabbed by who?
My friend.
Do you know his name?
Ron Rudy.
The next day, after more than a dozen hospitalizations and scores of calls to police, Ron walked up to his roommate wielding a hunting knife.
Why did he stab you?
He's been off of his medication.
Hospital records would later say that Ron's roommate sustained 14 stab wounds to his face, torso, arm, and knee. He had a collapsed lung and was bleeding heavily. He could barely breathe.
Are you okay? Can you answer me?
I feel like I'm going to pass out.
In critical condition, the victim was rushed to the nearest hospital. His family met with police later that day, describing Rudy as dangerous, saying that they were not surprised at what he did.
If he'd had a heart attack, you get immediate attention. But mental health doesn't get that. It's a system that's not working.
The mental health system, when it comes to helping people, is like a train racing down the track towards a bridge which is out.
For the last 16 years, Milton Mack has been chief judge of Wayne County's probate court.
The mental health system response is to park ambulances where the bridge is out and wait for the survivors. We wait and pick up the casualties when it's all over with.
Ron Rudy was charged with attempted murder earlier this year, but a judge just determined he's not competent to stand trial. His victim is still recovering. Tomorrow, our series continues. After state hospitals were closed in the 90s, where did all the mentally ill go? Well, many state hospital beds were replaced with jail cells, and it's costing tens of millions of dollars a year to house the sick. Part 3 of our investigation picks up tomorrow at 6. I'm Ross Jones, 7 Action News.